Discuss about quadrilateral and different types of quadrilateral. Here, one quadrilateral I draw here. All angles of a quadrilateral are right angle, then it is called as
Rectangle.
good rectangle. And today we discuss about rectangle. What is the definition of rectangle? If all angles of a quadrilateral are right angles, then it is called as rectangle. Definition is if all angles of a quadrilateral are right angles, then it is called as a rectangle. This is the definition of rectangle. Name of quadrilateral, tell here. Who tell the name of quadrilateral? Yes, correct. Quadrilateral A, B, C, D is a rectangle. And today we discuss about different properties for a rectangle. Property number first, properties of rectangle. First property, measure the lengths of sides. Here, length of side AB and length of side DC. These two lengths are, tell here, what we say,
Congruent.
these sides are correct, congruent. Which type of these sides? Which type of these sides? If nearer sides are called as adjacent sides, and these sides are called as correct as
Opposite side.
opposite sides. Correct, good answer. These opposite sides are of equal length, means opposite sides are congruent. Which sides? Segment. Who tell which sides are congruent as
Segment DC.
segment
DC.
DC, correct.
Congruent to segment AB.
Congruent segment AB, good. Yes. These two sides are congruent. Equal to side, and this side is the congruent side, and equal to side and its inverse is the wrong sign of congruent. This is the correct congruent side and this is the wrong congruent side. Understand that side? Yes. We write here congruency sign. Then another pair of opposite sides is which pair? We get here this segment AD and segment BC. These sides are what we say. These sides are also congruent. Which sides are congruent? We get here S. Who tell the answer? S. Correct. Segment AD congruent
Segment BC.
segment AD and segment BC are congruent. Means what we write conclusion, these are which type of side?
Opposite side.
Yes, opposite sides. And what we write conclusion, opposite sides of a rectangle are
Congruent.
congruent. What is the property?
Opposite side.
Opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. That is the first property. The opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. That is the first property we get here. Then second property we discuss here. Measure which lengths. Anyone can give answer. Which lengths we measure here? AB and DC we measure the length. Another pair is AD and BC. Then next, which lengths we measure here? Anyone can give answer? Yes? Can you say which lengths? This point A and point C. This distance we measure here, segment AC. This distance is segment AC, and another distance opposite vertices are distance BD. AC and BD are
Hypotenuse.
These are hypotenuse, but hypotenuse for triangle. For right angular triangle, we can say that this is hypotenuse. And if right angle making quadrilateral, then it is called as
Diagonal.
diagonal. Correct. Good answer. For right angle triangle, it is called as hypotenuse, and for quadrilateral, it is called as diagonal. Diagonal, first diagonal is AC, and second diagonal is DB. Which sides are congruent? Which diagonals we write congruent? That is segment S.
Segment AC and segment D.
Segment AC congruent segment DB. Correct. Segment AC and segment DB are congruent. Why we say congruent? Why we can say that both are congruent? Yes, anyone can give answer? Yes,
Because length of diagonal is congruent.
yes, because both length are equal. If lengths are equal, then we can say that they are congruent to each other, and we can write conclusion. These are called as, what we say, for segment AC and for segment DB,
Diagonal.
diagonals. What we write conclusion? Yes,
The diagonals of rectangle is congruent.
good answer. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. That is the property number 2. What is the property? The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. The diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. That is the second property. And third property is, here both diagonal intersect in point. Which point? Both diagonals are intersect in which point? Point E. Point E made how many parts for diagonal DB? Two parts, and both parts, what we say about both parts? Yes, here first part DE and second part is EB. Both parts, what we say? First part is DE, that is segment DE, congruent with S
segment EB.
EB, correct, segment EB. Segment DE and segment EB are congruent, and for another diagonal, first part AE and second part EC also, yes, both parts also congruent. Which parts are congruent? Who tell the answer? Yes, correct, good answer. Segment AE congruent with segment EC. Segment AE, segment AE congruent with segment EC. And we can write here conclusion. Who tell the conclusion? Both diagonals made equal parts, means first diagonal make equal part of second diagonal, and second diagonal make equal part of first diagonal. Means what we say, both diagonals intersect, means in Marathi diagonals are intersect in point E, means intersect means chedne, but both parts are similar. These parts also similar, means what we write conclusion? Yes, diagonals bisect each other. What is the word, important word? Diagonals bisect each other. Bisect means make equal parts. Bisect, meaning of bisect is made equal parts. These parts are equal. What is the conclusion? The diagonals of rectangle are bisect each other. The diagonals of a rectangle are bisect each other. These are different properties. We get three properties and definition of rectangle. Can you understand? Is any difficulty? Write down.